Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this episode of the No Closure Show. I don't know, what episode are we on at? 86, 85?
86? Yeah, 86.
85, 86, that's awesome. It is hump day of the week. Hopefully you have a lot of good stuff in momentum this week. We are rock and rolling here, actually finalizing up the actual schedule today and speaking spots for the upcoming Note Camp Convention taking place April 20th through the 23rd. We are on our way to having 300 plus attendees by the end of the day, which we're really excited about. Woo! Since we're a week out from tomorrow. Just good stuff. But today's topic is titled To Be or Not to Be. And I thought about that as I'm wearing this shirt from a virtual race I did called Hamlet, which is virtually running around in England where Hamlet was supposed to be happening. But to be or not to be. You probably heard the quote by Henry Ford. It says, whether you think you can or can't, you're correct. All right? To be or not to be. That is the question, but that is totally up to you on what you're doing. Now, we had an amazing time this past weekend with Mastermind students. I'm really loving seeing the emails that they're sending out to their database and talking about the event and what they're focused on and making things happen. I love seeing that. What I also crack up seeing is people who will say derogatory things about people marketing. And I just crack up about it because it's got to be very shallow, and you've got to have a really crappy life or be really, really jealous of other people's success to talk bad about somebody marketing, somebody doing a good job and sharing what they learned this weekend or sharing their growth as individuals or as note investors as they grow. Because ultimately it's all up to where we're at today. It is a total summation of the decisions that we've made on a daily basis going forward. All right? It is totally, we're all where we're at because of the things we've said or done or do or didn't do. All right? One of the big things that I love about working with my Note Mastermind students is that most of them will make offers. Most of them will be closing deals on a regular basis. What is frustrating is we've had this discussion in here before about all these people that are part of our Note Funding League, and we only see about 10% of them making offers. People want to do deals, okay, but they don't always pull the trigger. They don't take the time to look at the assets. They don't take the time to break down the deal flow and to work through the things and literally pull the trigger. To be or not to be, okay? You are either a note investor because you buy note assets, or you're a note student for the most part, I should say. There's a big clarification. You can go to school to be in marketing. You can go to school to be in business. You can go to school to be a doctor, an attorney. But if you actually never practice in that, all you have is a piece of paper. And so I want to ask some of you that are sitting out there, not those that are closing deals, those that are closing deals, making things happen, good job. Keep doing what you're doing. You are choosing to be and not to not be. If I start speaking William Shakespeare here. So what I'm trying to get at, everybody, is we all struggle with things, don't get me wrong. Hey, day in, day out, people struggle with things. I struggle with things on a day in, day out basis on different aspects of the note business or business in itself. But I work to seek counsel. I work to reach out to people. I work to say, hey, how can I solve my issues? I've got a really good friend by the name of David Corbin who wrote a book called Illumination, or Illuminate. Get this online. David Corbin is actually a mentor to Greg Reed. You've heard me talk about one of my mentors as well. Dave's a great guy. Basically talks about Illuminate, harnessing the positive power of negative thinking. And what this book talks about is we all have little things that we hide. Problems, issues, things like that. And what eventually happens, if we don't illuminate those issues, they eventually grow into cancers that become bigger spread, and they become unavoidable to do it. So it's a great book. Talks about boosting profits, productivity, and morale. Great book. Dave's a great guy. I like to give him a crap a little bit time when I run into him, but I'll see him at Secret Night. Here's a great quote here. You don't deal with the negatives negatively. You put a positive light on them. Cal says we need to acknowledge the positive and eliminate the negative. You eliminate the negative so everyone can see it and work to eliminate it. So if you're struggling with something in your business, struggling with something, don't just hide it and pass over it. You need to eliminate it. I got an email today from a student who bought a couple assets over a year ago. Over a year ago. And then did not follow up with the asset managers, did not follow up with the servicing, did not follow up with the collateral company. Yes, they did not follow up with any of their vendors for months. So the files got shipped, and then they got shipped back because none of the vendors had any knowledge of who they're supposed to be dealing with, who they're supposed to be billing, what kind of accounts are set up. And so their files are somewhere in limbo. I know that they've been sent back and forth because I've been on the email correspondence. I've reached out to people. I actually was on a call with a servicing a few months ago, and they said, oh yeah, we've got 2 out of the 3 files. The third one's being shipped here. Great. All an individual has to do is pick up the phone in a timely fashion. But when you go 6 months without doing anything, or 3 months, and you don't act upon the decisions or the instructions that people give you, you will run into trouble because at some point, life keeps going on. Life keeps moving. Asset managers don't sit around. Servicing companies don't sit around. Collateral companies don't sit around just waiting for you to take action. They keep working forward. If you're not going to be on the phone, your stuff's going to get sent back and it's going to be in limbo. And so that's one of the biggest things. If you run from your problems will eventually drag you down. All right? So the best thing you can do, as I like to say, is to be or not to be. That is the question. Is to be proactive and illuminate the issues in your business, in your life. Okay? I've been through a divorce. I've been through financial struggles. I've been through losing a job. Okay? Sucks. I've been through losing almost my house. All right? I've been there. You have the opportunity to either do something or don't do something about it, but you can't sit around and have your head shoved up your ass or in the stand not doing that. I have a very, very close friend of mine who struggles with depression. And they, for months, and depending on the ups and downs of life, will sometimes just hide out for days and weeks. And they're not effective. And they can be one of the most effective individuals, one of the most effective investors that I know when they put their mind to it. You know, it's like the whole saying I said earlier on Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or can't, you're correct. And the moment this person stops thinking that they can't, they fall into a dark hole. And that's not a good place to be. But a lot of times they won't communicate that they're struggling. They won't get out of their own way. And sometimes you just got to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, I need some help. Hey, help me out with this. Because most people, especially most successful people, are the most open with their time. They're the most willing to help share and help people overcome their obstacles. So if you're struggling with something in this business, finances or buying deals or deal flow, there's an answer to it. And you probably already know what that answer is. The problem is that if you know the answer, which most of you know the answer to your issues, you may not like the answer. And asking the question 5 or 10 times or think it's going to go away isn't going to solve any issues. Trust me, I know this firsthand experience. All right? You have to take action to make things happen for you and to change the course of where you're headed. There are things we all can do on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis. So, like yesterday, we talked about identifying things to help you keep your momentum going, whether it's trying to focus on something you implement the first week, the first 30 days, first 90 days. This falls in line with that. If you're not doing those simple things and you keep repeating you're in like a loop, you've got to change something to get outside of your loop. All right? You have to either make offers. You've either got to go talk with investors. You got to go network more. There is usually very simple answers to the questions that we struggle with. Maybe you got to write a check. Maybe you got to go meet with an accountant. Maybe you got to meet with a servicing company. Maybe you need to hire an assistant. Maybe you just need to go hang out at an office versus work from home. There's a variety of different things that can help us be accountable and help us be much more efficient in what we do. So to be or not to be, it's up to you what you want to accomplish. That is the question. What do you want to accomplish? If you don't know what your goals are, that's probably the first place I'd start. If you don't know what you want to accomplish, and what you want to achieve and what you want your life to be like, it's a struggle. My good buddy Aaron Young, which many of you have heard him speak multiple times, has a podcast called The Unshackled Owner, and it's phenomenal. Aaron, God, we know Aaron has gone through, if you've ever heard his story, you know he's gone through ups and downs and good and bad times. What you have to realize is you have a choice in taking action. There's simple things you can do to unshackle yourself from your issues, unshackle yourself from your problems. Sometimes the problems are our own making, sometimes they're not. But in business, most of the time things are very fixable. It just takes time and focus on things. If you're not saving enough for retirement, you need to focus on that. If you're not doing enough deals, you got to focus on making offers and getting out there, reaching out to people. If you're not talking to enough asset managers to get enough listening to you got to pick up the phone and start calling asset managers. Very simple questions. It's all about taking the time and dedication and making a change or refocusing your energy on things. Anybody have any questions or comments about this?
Not right now. We've just been posting the links to the Illuminate book and then the Unshackled Owner.
Unshackled Owner, yeah, great. Really excited. Aaron will be speaking twice on Note Camp, one on corporate veil protection and actually kind of covering your assets. And then my favorite thing that he likes to talks about is the Rockefeller strategy, how to own nothing but control everything through the use of the Rockefeller strategy. That's going to be a really great thing. He's going to be speaking twice. We actually have Meryl Chandler going to be speaking from Credit Sense, how to weaponize your credit, your personal credit, how to optimize it, not credit repair, but how to really be able to use to boost your credit scores, clean up your credit profiles, and then also the second half of how to leverage your credit profiles to, pull in six figures in lines of credit that you can use to buy notes with. Build your own private money factory, I guess you could say. So this is going to be a short hump day thing. We've got a lot of work to do here in the office today. We're working on assets. We're working on JV deal fundings and things like that. Just trying to get caught up here before we get too close to Note Camp. We have the schedule finally done, final list of speakers, and just working through to have our virtual document done. Nicole did a great job last time. I guess you'd say our roadmap to Note Camp. We are making some cool changes to Note Camp this year. One of the great things that we're doing, I believe, is we've done away with having just the, while it was a cool thing to do where you just had one link to go to, we'll still mess around that a little bit. We're going to make it easier for you guys to go to basically one thing where it'll fill the whole page. Because I know we had some people complain. Well, not really complain. They just would have liked to see that the screen was full of the speaker's information presentation to make it easier to read. And so I believe we've solved that this year by going and using a new technology that we're using to help make things a little bit easier for you guys to be able to read the presentations without having to have it on a big screen, make it a little bit more clearer for you. Won't have the hiccups with Google Hangout crashing on us like we did last time. So we're excited about that. So great things coming to it. If you haven't signed up for it, go ahead and get signed up for it. Today's National Grilled Cheese Day, right?
Yes. Yes.
Note Camp's going to be a good event.
That was my line.
That was good, Nicole. A good event. So with that, we'll if there's no questions or comments, I'll tell you this. If you love what we do, feel free to share down at the bottom there in the comments one of the biggest things you're struggling with. I'll be glad to schedule a phone call with you or try to put you in touch with the right person to help you overcome and help you illuminate your problems to solve those issues. Otherwise, have a great hump day, great Wednesday. Go out and make something happen today, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.